Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. Welcome. It's so quiet here. Usually, when I'm streaming live on Facebook, there's some kind of a fan blowing on my laptop. So, this is interesting. It's very peaceful. Um, it's Annie from Eat Move Milwaukee. Thank you for joining me in my home studio this morning. There's some interesting sunlight coming in. Hopefully, that's not also a reflection of my dirty lens or something. Nope, that's just the sun. So, speaking of quiet, if you ever want to add your own music in your own space, maybe you've already done that, please feel free. It doesn't necessarily translate best when I play music here, so I'll let you take that on your own. I thank the Milwaukee Rec Department for keeping us together and helping us to bring these classes to you. So we have our gentle yoga practice this morning. I was typing in the date, it's 2121. So here we are in February, and we had quite a dump of snow this weekend. So perhaps some of you were out shoveling or trying to navigate through all of the piles. So I know I was. I woke up this morning feeling sore in my entire body, essentially, from knowing that's from the activity yesterday. So shoveled at least twice. It's getting to the point where I don't know where to put the snow, and so I'm having to lift it up, above the waist and toss it, and that can be a big strain for upper back, lower back, shoulders. I was already dealing with some shoulder soreness, so yesterday was rough in terms of exerting, to get that cleared. But and then there was some other stuff with legs. So I'm feeling pretty sore. Perhaps you are as well. Regardless, I think we could all benefit from taking a few extra breaths in some stretches today and maybe going a little deeper. Not quite yet like a yin yoga class where we would hold the poses for 3 to 5 minutes in a more supported way, but we will definitely take our time getting into some of these postures. Good morning, Kate. And so if you have blocks, I would highly recommend those today to give you an opportunity to really support yourself so that you can sink in without as much effort of like straining to hold something. And then a strap may come in handy today as well, and we'll dig in. So we're going to start on our backs with that head and upper back supported if you want to use those blocks or a pillow or a bolster of some sort. And we're going to take a few extra breaths or an extra moment or minute or two in our centering posture to just stop and notice how the body feels. So if you didn't have to shovel or exert yourself highly this weekend, I'm very excited for you. and I hope that you can bring a body that's not quite as sore to the mat today, but maybe you have something else that you really want to work out in your mind or in your heart. So no doubt there's something that all of us can find that's bringing us here over and over. Okay, so let's start to lower down. And if you have that block under the back, I like to put mine across the shoulders, but you might put it down the spine. That's up to you. And you can always have the head the same height as the back or lower or higher. So this block under the back allows us to open up the chest and the heart more. So I might actually see what that feels like today, knowing I could use a chest stretch. See what that feels like to drop. Yeah. Okay. So once you arrive on your back, you decide if you want your legs to be out long. If you have some lower back strain, you might bring those knees in and let that back relax against the mat more. You could drop those knees together. You could drop the knees wide. Wherever you want to start, and feel free to move and wiggle in between some of those if it's tough to hold one of them for a while because of some kind of strain or soreness that you're having. Move around. So we're just going to notice at first here how we're feeling. You might take a scan from head to toe. What are the places that could use attention, love, kindness. Are there any places that feel unsettled? If you're not already tuning into your breath, start to follow that up and down your body, slowing it down, lengthening it out. Think about that breath nourishing us with each round of breath, bringing in that fresh breath, letting it circulate through the body, feeding all of those systems, all of those organs. And then let it go. Press it all the way out. Get rid of that stale air. Prepare yourself for your next fresh inhalation. So create that visual of that oxygen feeding your body, feeding your mind. Release your jaw. Release the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Let the shoulders drop open even more. Let those hands and fingers wiggle and be loose. Release the belly and the hips. Let those legs feel heavy. Breathe. I invite you to set an intention for this practice. What brought you to your mat? What do you truly need this morning, in this new week, in this new month? Finding gratitude for this new day that we are given. And how will you show up? What version of yourself will you bring to this day? Start here on your mat, setting the tone, setting your intention. Take one more round of breath, letting that intention set in. And then we'll gently, slowly, mindfully bring the right hand to the belly. Spread out those fingers. Gently, slowly, mindfully bring that left hand to the belly. Spread out those fingers. You might intertwine the fingers. You might just place those hands on top of each other. Relax the elbows. And we'll start with our first mindful breathing exercise, our first pranayama. We'll create some good vibrations to start this practice. So we'll move into Bhramari, or bee's breath. We'll take 3 rounds, starting with an inhalation through the nose. And as you exhale, let it slowly move out of the mouth in either a buzz or a hum. Noticing how slowly that exhalation can happen in this manner. So begin when you're ready. We'll take it in. And you can keep those eyes closed as you start to remove those blocks from under you, placing them off to the side. Let your body rest on your mat. Wiggle in those hips. Stretch out the arms. Take your time. If you're feeling sore, just notice. Gently move into these stretches. Reach up. Flex those toes, rotate through the wrist and the ankle. Maybe stretch the other arm and leg. Notice. Big breath in as you stretch along the length of the mat. Slowly, slowly draw those knees into the chest. Maybe you bring that chin up towards the knees. Expand again. Take those arms and legs to the 4 corners. How slowly can you move? As you move slowly, allow yourself to feel every millimeter along the way where you might feel soreness or sensation. Take it in again. Exhaling. Take another stretch along the length of the mat. You could even slide those heels slowly, slowly. Breath in. Maybe arching the back, rolling those wrists and ankles again. Exhale, draw those knees in. And then rest the shoulders and the head. Let's rotate through those hips, moving those knees around. You can move them in the same direction. And take them wide again, circle around. We'll plant those feet for a moment. You can bring the arms to a T. Notice how that feels for the arms. Maybe you're already feeling some stretch, soreness, strain in the armpits, in the chest, in the shoulders. Lift and shift those hips to the left. Inhale, take those knees in tightly towards the chest, and exhale, drop them to the right. looking towards the left fingertips. You could take a block between the knees or under. Give yourself support today. I always encourage you to give yourself support, but maybe today that's something we focus on a little bit more. So we bring that block as needed between or under the knees, and then move that left shoulder blade back down to the mat. Keep drawing those knees towards the right and wrapping that shoulder blade toward the left. Big twist here. Notice your breath. What are you feeling in this posture? Is it creating a sensation that makes you want to hold the breath? Can you use that exhalation to deepen the posture, to move into any discomfort? With each exhalation, imagine that you're taking this twist even farther. Option to straighten that top leg if you wish, pressing through the heel, noticing a deeper stretch through the hip on the left. And then if you straighten that top leg, let's bend it in. Bring those knees back to center slowly. Drop those feet. And we'll lift and shift those hips to the right. Take a breath in, drawing those knees in closely. And exhale, take them to the left. So here you decide how you want to support yourself with that block. And then wrap that right shoulder blade back down to the earth. Let that breath go. Take another scan. Tune in. Where are you feeling it? How is your breath moving? Keep drawing the knees together and bringing that right shoulder blade down to the earth even more. Deepen the twist. In your next inhalation, slowly take those knees back through center. We'll drop the feet down and shift those hips back to center. Let's walk those feet in right next to each other. Flex those feet and slide those legs all the way out. Take your arms up overhead, big breath in. Expand the lungs and exhale, take that banana shape to the left, Bananasana. Maybe you bring that right ankle across the left, and you gently draw that right wrist overhead with the left hand. Keep the shoulders and the hips on the mat. Noticing that length and stretch through the right side body. Keep wrapping those hips and shoulders farther down to the earth. And maybe walking those feet and hands closer to each other. Next inhale takes us slowly back to center. And then we exhale over to the other side. You could draw that left wrist overhead with the right hand. Cross that left ankle over the right. Wrap those hips and shoulders down to the earth. And find that length and stretch on the left. Imagine stretching all those muscles between the ribs, the intercostal muscles, creating space for breath. Inhale back to center. Take your time. Another big extension of the spine here. And then exhale, draw those knees back in. Rotate through those hips again. Notice. Bring those knees in. Hands to the knees. Gently start to raise those feet to the sky. Imagine that you're pressing those knees slightly away. And if that is tight for you, it's certainly tight for me. Lots of movement yesterday with my lower body as well. Just take your time. We'll inhale, pressing those heels up if that's a lot. Pull back, soften the knees. Just warming up here, waking up, engaging those quads, stretching the hamstrings, but not too much at once. Press the lower back into the earth. Keep that breath moving. One more breath in with those legs. Reach the heels up. And then exhale, start to draw those knees down towards the armpits. Let those ankles or heels flap towards the glutes for a moment. Place those hands on the knees. And we're just going to drive these knees up and down slightly like a steering wheel. Kind of turning, but also kind of like pistons. So, again, hands gently placed on the knees. Let those heels flop down. And we'll start to drive. So it's an up and down, but it's also a little bit of a half circle, like I said, like a steering wheel. So imagine your sacrum. That's the space between the lower back and the tailbone. Back of the pelvis, I sometimes refer to it. Imagine that there's something there that you want to kind of grind out, massage out. And you're moving it back and forth. From a chef's standpoint, I always think of like a mortar and pestle. Like I'm grinding that out. So if there's some tension you held there, or some kind of pain, move that out. Again, we don't want to bring pain to ourselves in yoga, but if there's some kind of stress or soreness, maybe is what I'm trying to say, take an opportunity to release or relieve some of that here. And if it doesn't feel good, then please don't. Remember that difference between finding a little discomfort and finding pain. Discomfort is encouraged, pain is not in yoga. Bring those knees back in. And then open up that angle, send the soles of the feet to the sky. Draw those knees in a little more. We'll find happy baby. And again, not comparing ourselves to any place that we've been in the past. You might have been able to do happy baby and bring your knees all the way to your ears. That's another pose, actually. But maybe after this weekend, if you were very active or working, maybe that's not possible or not going to serve you today. So notice where you are. You don't have to get into this as deeply as you once did. What do you need today? Maybe it's just drawing those thighs closer with the hands. Maybe you want to reach for the legs, the ankles, the pants, the insides of the feet, peace fingers to big toes. Whatever you choose, think about keeping the shoulders flat on the mat and really lengthening that spine. And so we may not know until we go into it what is possible. So you could take what you know and then adjust from there. So maybe you take your typical posture in happy baby and you say, ooh, wow, this is a lot today. So we can ease up, but we start somewhere. And then you might rock back and forth. Again, massaging that sacrum. Maybe you close your eyes. Bring your attention to that space. Imagine easing out any tension. Pause in the center. Let's take a breath in. And then exhale, start to extend that heel. I'm not going to get that knee or that leg straight today. Not yet. That's too much. Take it to the other side. And some days, you might feel like you're starting all over. One thing that I know I could stand to learn is how to rest more in between. the importance of resting and recovering. So this might be more of a recovery practice for me today, with no expectations of where I might end up later in the week. Just drawing my attention to where I am today, honoring what my body needs and doesn't want, maybe choosing some discomfort, and just being here right now. One more stretch each side. And we'll release that bind. Take those feet straight down to the edges of the mat. Again, slowly, mindfully. Bring those arms back to a T. Take a breath in, pressing that lower back into the earth. Exhale, slowly draw those knees over to the right. Take your time. Perhaps that right knee just about reaches the earth, but that left knee, that trailing knee might be floating. So use your breath to draw it a little deeper. Notice that stretch through the quadricep, the hip flexor. Keep those shoulder blades on the earth. Breathe. Inhale those knees back to center. And slowly exhale them to the left, allowing that left knee to relax down, and then that trailing knee, that right knee, eases into a deeper expression of this posture. Use your breath. Next breath takes us back to center, and we'll heel toe those feet about hip distance apart. Take that right leg up to the sky. Breathe in through that heel. Exhale, cross that ankle over the left leg. And then we'll take those hands and thread them behind the left thigh, or you could certainly use your strap here. Press that right knee away, energetically or with your hand. One advantage of the strap, besides giving us more length and working with our proportions, is that we have that free hand maybe to open that hip up. So draw that left thigh in, push the right knee away, and you might extend that left leg to the sky, flexing both feet to protect those knees. It helps to engage muscles and ligaments around that knee, protecting it from injury. One more breath in. Slowly release that left leg if you took it long. And then we'll slide that right leg over the left. Bring those arms out to a T, and then bring that right arm under the left. So we're crossing at the elbows here. And you can bring those hands to the opposite shoulder. Start to raise that left foot off the earth, and you might wrap that right foot around the left calf. So this is our supine eagle posture, Garudasana. And you might take those arms and wrap them into full eagle arms. You could stay here. Maybe this is a good enough stretch for you. Keep hugging those arms in, keep hugging those thighs in. You might extend those arms and legs gently. If you want to take a full expression of a crunch, bringing shoulders and head off the earth, go for it. Maybe just feeling your way through those joints of the shoulders and hips is good for you. Or just holding static. Stretching across the upper back, stretching those hips. One more breath. And we'll slowly release those arms. If you twisted that right foot around the left calf, you can release now. And we'll stretch a little bit more deeply with these hips. So you could reach for the knees and draw them in slightly. Or you might lift the head and neck and reach for those big toes. And then try to rest the head and neck back on the earth and pull those toes in. I think of this as like a bicycle handle. It's a big hip stretch. If this is too much, please back off. But maybe this is your edge today. So big hip stretch, especially there on the right. Slowly release. Bring those feet down and uncross. Take those feet as wide as the mat again and swish. And we'll heel toe those feet in towards each other again. Take that left leg up to the sky, breathe in. Exhale, bring that left ankle to the right leg just above the knee. So you can press that left knee away, starting to thread the fingers or the strap around the right thigh. And then draw that right foot off the earth, pressing that left knee away. Option to take that right leg long. Notice your breath. One more breath in. Slowly release that foot down to the earth. Release the strap. We'll slide that left leg over the right. And you can bring that right foot off and maybe wrap that left foot around in full eagle legs. We'll take the arms long. And then scoop the left arm underneath the right, crossing at the elbows. You could take opposite shoulders or twist those arms into eagle arms. Notice how this feels for the shoulders, the hips, the upper back on this side. Stay here and squeeze those arms and legs together. Or you might start to extend and crunch in. So if you wanted to do those crunches, this is what I'm talking about here. Bringing knees towards elbows. But maybe that's just not even necessary today. You want length, then you want to draw it in, but not that full crunch. Again, if you're just trying to ease any soreness, maybe you don't want to focus on the abs today. That can be another class. You can always replay this practice and add more another time. Really feel this posture. Draw your attention all the way around the body. Hips, shoulders, elbows, neck, everything. Breath. Release those arms. Release that wrap of the foot if you took it. And again, you might hug those knees in a little tighter or reach up for those toes. And notice if this side is different. It is for me. And maybe draw those feet in a little more closely, noting that deeper hip stretch on the left. Breathe. And then slowly release. Bring those feet as wide as the mat. We'll swish knees back and forth. Bring those knees to center. Let them fall in towards each other. Hands to the belly. 4, 7, 8 breath. Our next pranayama. Let that breath go. Take your next inhalation through the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it out through the mouth. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take 2 more rounds of 4, 7, 8 breath at your pace. and release. So we're going to roll onto our side, lest we be on our backs the whole time, which would be fine with me and maybe some of you. But I wanted to offer you one more deep shoulder or upper back stretch that might come in handy after perhaps you were shoveling yesterday. So this is our shoelace stretch, and hopefully you can see me okay with this angle. I'm going to take my, this will be your left hand, and thread it through. So we can take our right hand out in front, thread that left arm through. Let me change my camera angle here so you can see me better. We're not doing a lot of standing today. There we go. Okay. So laying on the belly, bringing that left arm through, and then that right arm across. So if your elbows are aligned, that's great. If your biceps are aligned, that's great too. This might be really intense for you. Go wherever. It can be intense for anyone, whether you've done it or your shoulders are sore or not. So keep creeping those fingers out to the side. Notice how this feels for the shoulders. If you have a shoulder injury, this might not be for you today. You can take a less intense version. So from here, this shoelace, take a breath in, and then exhale, really release yourself into this posture. Just letting gravity bring you down to the earth. Maybe you close the eyes. Exhale to go a little deeper. One more breath. And we'll slowly start to creep those arms apart. Take them out to the sides. And then when you're ready, we switch. So we bring that right arm across first, and the left arm goes on top. And one side might be different than the other for you. Please honor your body, especially if you have any injuries. Release further into this posture. One more breath. And slowly start to walk those arms back. I have one more face down posture for you to stretch those hips. So we lay on our bellies again. Let's take that left arm long, and this right arm is in a cactus arm or 90 degrees. Take a breath in. Exhale as you draw that right knee up to the right elbow. Trying to avoid some rough spots on my floor here. So keep that elbow in place, coming straight out from the shoulder, but draw that knee up. Try to pin that right hip down to the earth. Big stretch through the glute and the hip. Breathe into it. One more breath in. Slowly release that leg. We'll take it to the other side. So right arm goes long, left arm in a cactus arm. And know that you can turn that head away from the bent arm for a deeper neck stretch if that is what you could use today. So inhale here. Exhale, draw that left knee towards the left elbow, pressing that left hip bone into the earth. One more breath in, and release that leg. We'll move back onto our bellies. Please take your time. Draw those knees into the chest once you arrive. And you might rock back and forth. Take another full body stretch. And we'll bring those hands to the belly again, finishing with our equal breath, Samavriti. Take a big breath all the way up to the crown of the head. Maybe you take it for 8, 10, 12 counts. And then equal that breath, equal that inhalation with the length of your exhalation. Take one more round of this equal breath. And then any other postures, stretches, movements that would allow you to feel more complete in your practice. Find your final relaxation after that. Maybe you have yourself laying completely flat. Maybe those knees are up or wide. If you need to take more time beyond the close of this practice to integrate, please take as much time as you need. Start to bring your attention back to this space. Find some movement in your body. Maybe you rub those fingers against the thumb, stretch those legs out slowly, reach up. Stretch, maybe draw those knees in, let out a big sigh, whatever feels good. And we'll meet on one side of our mats. Take another breath there. When you're ready, press up to the seated position. You could keep those eyes closed. I invite you to bring those hands to your heart center. Notice how you feel. No matter where you are on your journey, in this new week and month, in this year or this whole lifetime, I thank you for pausing to share this practice with me. The light, love, and peace in me recognizes and honors the light, love, and peace in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming to your mat today. Remember that if any of those stretches or postures appealed to you and felt good in easing some soreness, take them individually. Pull them out of the practice and take them. If you want more time in a hip stretch or shoulder stretch, you have those tools. We'll see you tomorrow for our noon slow flow. If you didn't tune into that last week, we have a new online class on Tuesdays, 12 noon, slow flow. So it's a slower vinyasa with some abdominal work. And otherwise, I'll see you on Thursday for our yoga zone class. Thank you so much for being here. Have a peaceful day. Be well.